Let's be honest with each other for a second. If I asked you to describe yourself, you'd probably use words like intelligent, deep, maybe sensitive or considerate. You pride yourself on not being one of those loud, obnoxious chads at the bar who treat women like objects. You look at those guys, the guys who are loud, who interrupt people, who take up too much space, and you feel a mix of disgust and confusion. You think, I am morally superior to him. I understand art. I understand feelings. So why is he leaving with the girl? And I'm going home to reread my own text messages. To understand this, we have to open the pages of notes from Underground and look at one of the most painfully realistic characters in literary history, the Underground Man. The Underground Man is the patron saint of the modern INCEL, or nice guy, though he would hate being called that because he thinks he is a genius. He is a man possessed by a crippling hyper-consciousness. He overthinks everything. He analyzes every glance, every word, every silence. And he believes that this anxiety is proof of his superior intelligence. He tells himself that men of action, the guys who just go out and do things, are stupid. They are animals. They are bulls charging at red walls. He, on the other hand, is a refined man of culture. He stays in his room. He suffers. He thinks deeply. But here is the trap. And it is the same trap you walk into every time you start talking to a woman you like. The Underground Man believes that his suffering makes him good. He believes that because he is socially awkward and anxious, he is somehow more pure than the confident guys. This is the great lie of the insecure man. You have convinced yourself that your lack of confidence is actually a form of respectfulness. You hesitate to make a move because you respect her too much, right? You don't tease her because you don't want to be mean, right? Wrong. Dostoevsky slaps us in the face with the truth. You aren't doing those things because you are virtuous. You are doing them because you are terrified. And women, just like the rest of society, can smell the difference between a man who chooses to be gentle and a man who is forced to be gentle because he is too afraid to be anything else. Let's look at a specific scenario from the book that perfectly mirrors modern dating. The Underground Man is obsessed with a group of old schoolmates, particularly a guy named Zverkov. Zverkov is everything the Underground Man is not. He's loud, he's successful, he's handsome, he's rich, and he brags constantly. The Underground Man despises him. He thinks Zverkov is a vulgar idiot. But, and this is the crucial part, when the Underground Man finds out Zverkov is having a farewell dinner, what does he do? Does he stay home and enjoy his superior intellect? No. He essentially forces himself into the party. He invites himself. He spends money he doesn't have to attend a dinner with men he hates, just so he can sit there and try to prove that he is better than them. Picture the scene. It's excruciating. The Underground Man sits at the table, refusing to speak, pacing back and forth, trying to look mysterious and intellectual. He wants them to notice him. He wants them to ask, hey, why are you so quiet and deep? He wants to be the center of attention by acting like he's above it all. But the other men just ignore him. They drink, they laugh, they talk about women, they have fun. And the more they ignore him, the more resentful he becomes. He starts making passive-aggressive comments. He starts trembling with rage. He ends up making a complete fool of himself, getting drunk, and challenging them to duels that nobody cares about. This is the archetype of the insecure man in a relationship. Think about your own behavior. How often have you entered a social situation or a conversation with a woman with this same energy? You sit there holding frame or trying to look cool and detached, waiting for her to validate you. You aren't actually engaging with her. You are performing depth. You are performing intelligence. And when she doesn't react the way you scripted it in your head, when she doesn't stop and say, wow, you're so quiet and mysterious, please tell me your thoughts on 19th century philosophy, you get resentful. You start to think she's shallow. You start to think she just likes bad boys. She doesn't get me. The Underground Man thinks he is repelling people because he is too smart. Dostoevsky shows us that he is repelling people because he is a black hole of need. This brings us to the core mechanism of why insecurity kills attraction. The hidden transaction. When you approach a woman from a place of insecurity, every interaction is a transaction. You are not giving her attention. You are loaning her attention with the expectation of being paid back in validation. You send the good morning text, not because you simply want her to have a good morning, but because you need the dopamine hit of her reply to feel like you exist. You listen to her complain about her boss for 2 hours, not because you are a stoic rock of support, but because you think you are earning good boy points that you can later cash in for affection or sex. This is what Nietzsche later described as slave morality, but Dostoevsky explored it first and, in my opinion, better. The slave, the insecure man, cannot take what he wants from the world. He feels weak, so he rebrands his weakness as a virtue. He says, I am not weak, I am nice, I am not cowardly, I am patient, I am not undesirable, I am just too complex for modern women. But deep down, there is envy. The underground man envies Zverkov. He hates him, yes, but he also desperately wants to be him. He wants the applause. He wants the easy confidence. And because he can't have it, he tries to guilt the world into giving it to him. This is repulsive to women for a very biological and psychological reason. Evolutionarily speaking and socially speaking, a woman is looking for a partner who can add value to her life, who can offer protection, competence, and stability. When you come at her with this nice guy energy, you are not offering value. You are presenting her with a bill. You are essentially saying, I have been so nice to you, please tell me I'm good enough. You are asking her to be your therapist and your mother. You are asking her to fill the hole in your soul, where your self-esteem should be. And that is a heavy, heavy burden to place on someone you just met on Tinder. Let's dig deeper into the refined insecurity. The underground man constantly talks about how acutely conscious he is. He says that to be too conscious is an illness, and he's right. When you are insecure, you are obsessed with yourself. This is the great paradox. We tend to think of narcissists as people who love themselves and insecure people as people who hate themselves. But Dostoevsky reveals that they are two sides of the same coin. Both are obsessed with the self. When you are talking to a woman and you are insecure, where is your attention? Is it on her? Are you actually listening to the words she is saying? Are you noticing the way her eyes light up when she talks about her hobbies? No. Your attention is turned inward. You are monitoring your own performance. Did I laugh too loud? Was that joke funny? Is she looking at her phone? Why did she look at the waiter like that? Does she think he's hotter than me? Oh God, I have nothing to say. I need to say something smart. You are trapped in the underground of your own skull. You are not present. You are not connecting. You are watching a movie of yourself failing a date, and she feels this. Humans are incredibly perceptive animals. We communicate through micro-expressions, through tone, through body language. When you are stuck in your head, your eyes glaze over. Your timing is off. You laugh a split second too late. You agree with things you don't actually agree with just to keep the peace. You become a mirror that reflects nothing back. Dostoevsky illustrates this beautifully and painfully when the underground man finally meets Liza, a young prostitute. This is his chance for a real human connection. And what does he do? He doesn't get to know her. He doesn't ask her about her life with any genuine curiosity. Instead, he launches into a speech. He starts lecturing her. He paints a tragic, romantic picture of her future, how she will die alone and sick if she doesn't change her ways. He makes her cry. He breaks her down emotionally. Why does he do this? Is it because he cares about her? No. It's because he felt humiliated by his friends earlier that night, and he needs to feel powerful. He needs to play the hero. He uses her vulnerability to boost his own ego. He wants to save her, not for her sake, but so that she will look up to him as a savior. This is the white knight syndrome that plagues so many insecure men. You seek out women who are broken, or you try to fix women who aren't even broken, because you feel that is the only way you can be useful. You don't think a strong, happy, well-adjusted woman would want you, so you look for a project. But what happens when the project talks back? What happens when the woman doesn't want to be saved, or when she sees through your act? In the book, Liza eventually comes to visit the underground man at his home. She comes to him looking for that love and support he promised. And this is the moment the mask falls off. When she sees him in his poverty, in his shabby dressing gown, screaming at his servant, the underground man crumbles. He is terrified that she sees him as he really is, weak, poor, and pathetic. His hero persona evaporates, and because he is exposed, he attacks her. He tells her the truth. I was laughing at you. I wanted to humiliate you. I don't care about you. He pushes her away because he cannot handle the intimacy of being seen. This is the extreme version, but you do the micro version of this all the time. This is why you ghost people. This is why you get defensive when a girlfriend asks a simple question about your day. This is why you act aloof and cold when you really want to be warm. You are terrified that if you let the wall down, if you stop performing, she will see the little mouse underground. And here is the kicker. The underground man assumes that if she saw his real self, she would be disgusted. But in the book, when Liza sees him breaking down, she doesn't laugh. She doesn't mock him. She understands. She opens her arms to comfort him. She offers him the one thing he has been desperate for: genuine, unearned love. And he cannot take it. He is so addicted to his own insecurity, so addicted to the narrative that I am unlovable, that he sabotages it. He sleeps with her, insults her, hands her money, treating her like a prostitute again to re-establish his superiority, and drives her away. He chooses his misery over connection. This is the danger zone. Dostoevsky is warning you. You can become so comfortable in your role as the unlucky in love victim, the misunderstood nice guy, that you will actively destroy opportunities for happiness just to keep your identity intact. You might be thinking, okay, that's dark, but I just want to know why she didn't text me back. She didn't text you back because you texted her with the energy of a man who is afraid she won't text back. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Insecurity is a signal that says, I do not trust myself to handle reality. When you are constantly checking your phone, constantly apologizing, constantly seeking reassurance, you are broadcasting to the world that you are not stable. A woman is looking for a rock, not a leaf that blows in the wind of her every mood. The underground man is a leaf. He is blown around by the opinions of Zverkov, by the look on his servant's face, by the weather, by his own digestion. He has no core. He has no center. And a man without a center is a dangerous thing. Not dangerous in the cool, sexy way. Dangerous in the exhausting, draining way. A woman knows that if she dates an insecure man, she will constantly have to prop him up. She will have to be careful with her words so she doesn't accidentally shatter his fragile ego. She will have to walk on eggshells. That isn't a partnership. That is a hostage situation. The reason the bad boy or the Chad often wins isn't because he's an asshole. It's because he is typically unconcerned with your opinion of him. If the girl rejects him, he moves on. He doesn't write a 40-page manifesto about how society is crumbling. He doesn't internalize it as a fatal flaw in his soul. He just orders another drink. That lack of hyper-consciousness, that ability to just be, is what the underground man calls stupidity. But Dostoevsky hints that it is actually a form of freedom. So, before we move on to how this manifests in your specific behaviors and how to fix it, you need to accept the diagnosis. You are not too nice. You are not too smart. You are afraid. You are trying to buy love with compliance. You are acting out a role because you are terrified of the improvisation of real life. You are the underground man, peeking through a crack in the floorboards, judging the world for dancing while you sit in the dark. And until you decide to come up and risk being seen, really seen, flaws and all, you will stay there. Now, let's look at how this vanity of self-loathing turns you into a narcissist without you even realizing it. If I told you that you were a narcissist, you'd probably get offended. You'd point to your anxiety, your self-doubt, and your constant internal criticism as proof that you are the exact opposite. You'd say, how can I be a narcissist? I hate myself. I think I'm garbage. But I am going to hold your hand while I tell you this, because it is the most important pill you need to swallow. Self-loathing is just narcissism in a minor key. When you are insecure, you are obsessed with yourself. You are the center of your own universe. The only difference between you and the arrogant jerk you hate is the flavor of the obsession. He is obsessed with how great he is. You are obsessed with how terrible you are. But in both cases, who is the movie about? It's about you. Dostoevsky understood this paradox better than any modern psychologist. In Notes from Underground, his character isn't just miserable, he is vain about his misery. He treats his suffering like a work of art that everyone else is forced to look at. Let's break down the toothache metaphor, which is one of the funniest and most savage parts of the book. The underground man describes a man suffering from a toothache. At first, he just groans because it hurts. That's normal. That's human. But as the days go on, the groans change. They become nasty. He starts moaning louder and more annoyingly than he needs to. He knows he is keeping his family awake. He knows he is irritating his friends. And he enjoys it. Why? Because the moan says, look at me. I am in pain. My pain is the most important thing in this house right now. You are not allowed to be happy while I am suffering. Now, translate this to your dating life. Think about the last time you felt insecure around a woman. Maybe she made a joke you didn't quite get, or she mentioned an ex-boyfriend, or she just looked at her phone for too long. What happened in your brain? The toothache started. You didn't just feel a moment of discomfort and move on. You spiraled. You withdrew. You maybe got a little quiet, a little sulky. You put on a face. You were signaling to her, I am hurt. Come fix me. You might think you're being subtle, but you aren't. You are the man with the toothache, moaning in the corner of the party. You are demanding that she stop enjoying her night to tend to your fragile ego. And there is nothing, absolutely nothing, that dries up attraction faster than a man who demands pity. Women are attracted to competence. They are attracted to men who can handle the weight of the world. When you sulk because you feel insecure, you are demonstrating the opposite. You are demonstrating that you crumble under the weight of an awkward silence. But let's go deeper into this main character syndrome. The underground man walks down the street and convinces himself that everyone is looking at his shabby clothes. He thinks the way a certain officer walks past him is a calculated insult. He spends hours, days, sometimes years, obsessing over a tiny interaction that the other person forgot in 5 seconds. This is the vanity of insecurity. You believe you are so important that everyone else is constantly judging you. Here is a scenario. You're on a date. You knock over a glass of water. It shatters. A confident man thinks, "Whoops, that was clumsy. Let me get a napkin." He laughs. He fixes it. He moves on. He forgets it happened. The insecure man, the Dostoevsky man, thinks, "Oh my God, I'm such an idiot. She saw that. She thinks I'm a clumsy fool. Everyone in the restaurant is looking at me. The waiter is judging me. This date is ruined. I am unworthy of love." Do you see the arrogance in the second reaction? You have turned a spilled glass of water into a Greek tragedy about your soul. You have taken a random event and made it entirely about you. And here is why this repels women. It makes them feel invisible. When you are stuck in this loop of self-analysis, you are not actually with her. You are looking at her, but you aren't seeing her. You are scanning her face for data points to feed your anxiety. If she smiles, you think, "Does she mean it? Or is she pitying me?" If she is quiet, you think, "She's bored. I'm boring her." If she talks about herself, you think, "She's just filling the silence because I'm awkward." She ceases to be a human being with her own thoughts, fears, and desires. She becomes a mirror. You are using her to check your own reflection. And when a woman feels like she is just a prop in your one-man show of the sad misunderstood genius, she will check out. She might not be able to articulate it. She might just say, "I just didn't feel a spark." But what she really means is, "I felt like I was on a date with a guy who was on a date with himself." The underground man takes this to the extreme. He convinces himself that his heightened sensitivity makes him better than the normal people. He looks at the chads, the officers, the men of action, and calls them stupid because they don't overthink everything. He tells himself, "I may be miserable, but at least I am deep. I feel things more intensely than these shallow idiots." Does this sound familiar? Do you comfort yourself after a rejection by telling yourself that she just wants a simple guy and couldn't handle your depth? This is a defense mechanism. It is your ego trying to protect you from the truth. The truth is that the simple guy isn't simple. He's present. He isn't bogged down by the vanity of self-loathing. He is looking at the woman and thinking, "Wow, she's beautiful," while you are looking at the woman and thinking, "Does she think I am beautiful?" There is a scene where the underground man bumps into an officer on the street. The officer doesn't even notice him. He just moves him aside like a piece of furniture. The underground man seethes about this for years. He writes letters he never sends. He plans revenge. He stalks the guy. Why? Because the officer's indifference proved that the underground man wasn't the center of the universe, and his ego couldn't handle that. If you want to stop repelling women, you have to kill this main character inside you. You have to realize that your insecurity is not a sign of your sensitivity or your intelligence. It is a sign of your selfishness. I know that hurts to hear. You feel like a victim, and I am calling you selfish. But this is the liberation. If you realize that your anxiety is just your ego acting up, you can stop taking it so seriously. You can laugh at it. When you feel that knot in your stomach because she didn't text back instantly, you can recognize it for what it is. There goes my inner underground man, demanding that the world stop spinning to validate me. Real confidence is not thinking you are the best guy in the room. Real confidence is forgetting about yourself long enough to actually be interested in the other people in the room. Dostoevsky's work is a warning. He shows us that a man who cannot get out of his own head will eventually rot there. He will drive away every person who tries to get close, not because he is unlovable, but because there is no room in his heart for anyone else. It is already too full of his own ghosts. So, the next time you feel that wave of self-loathing, remember, it's not humble, it's not noble. It's just a toothache you're inflicting on everyone else. Stop moaning, take an ibuprofen, and ask her a question about her life. But of course, letting go of the ego is hard, especially when you have built a fantasy where you are the hero of the story. And that brings us to the next trap, the savior complex. You know the one. You're lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, and you imagine a scenario where the woman you like is in trouble. Maybe she's crying because her Chad boyfriend cheated on her. Maybe she's struggling with some deep emotional trauma. Maybe she's just lost and confused in life. And then you step in. You, the sensitive, intelligent, patient man, you say the perfect thing. You dry her tears. You save her. She looks up at you with those big, grateful eyes and realizes, oh my God, you were the one I needed all along. It feels good, doesn't it? It feels noble. You tell yourself, I just want to help her. I just want to protect her. But Dostoevsky is here to ruin that fantasy for you. He is here to tell you that this desire to save her has nothing to do with love. It is a power trip. It is a drug you take to numb the pain of your own insignificance. In Notes from Underground, this dynamic plays out in the most excruciating way possible. After the underground man gets humiliated by his friends at the dinner party, after he is ignored, mocked, and left alone, he goes to a brothel. He needs to re-establish his dominance. He feels like a worm, so he needs to find someone he can crush. He meets Liza. She is young, new to the city, and clearly terrified, though she tries to hide it. Now, a confident man, a man who is comfortable in his own skin, would treat her like a human being. He might talk to her, joke with her, or leave, but the underground man decides to play hero. He starts lecturing her. He paints a vivid, horrific picture of her future. He tells her how she will lose her beauty, how she will get sick, how she will die alone in a cellar with no one to mourn her. He describes it in such graphic, poetic detail that he reduces her to hysterics. She breaks down, sobbing. She shows him her soul. And what is the underground man feeling in this moment? Is he feeling empathy? Is he feeling sorrow for her situation? No, he tells us explicitly, I felt a sort of refreshing warmth. The game attracted me. He is getting off on it. He is feeding on her tears. For the first time in his miserable life, someone is listening to him. Someone is looking up to him. By making her feel small, he finally feels tall. This is the dark secret of the nice guy savior complex. You don't want a partner, you want a project. You are attracted to broken women, or you unconsciously try to find the brokenness in healthy women, because you need to be needed. If she is strong, if she is independent, if she is happy, what is your role? You don't have enough confidence to just be with her as an equal. You feel that you bring nothing to the table. So you need her to be a victim so that you can be the solution. Think about the conversations you try to have with women. Do you constantly steer the topic toward her problems? Do you love playing the amateur therapist? Oh, tell me about your childhood. Tell me about your toxic ex. You think you're building intimacy, but actually, you are building a hierarchy. You are the doctor, she is the patient. The doctor is in control. The doctor is superior. The patient is a mess. This dynamic is addictive because it bypasses the risk of rejection. If she is crying on your shoulder, she isn't judging you. She isn't evaluating your sexual market value. She is just clinging to you. It's a safe, cowardly way to get female attention without having to actually be charming, funny, or masculine. But here is where the tragedy happens. Here is why this repels women in the long run. The fantasy of being the hero is easy. The reality of being the hero is work. In the book, the underground man gives Liza his address. He plays the role of the benevolent savior so well that she actually believes him. She thinks, this man is different. He wants to rescue me. So, a few days later, she shows up at his apartment. And this is the moment every insecure man dreads. This is the moment the online girlfriend comes to visit, or the moment the broken bird actually asks for real help. When Liza knocks on the door, the underground man is terrified. Why? Because he's wearing a dirty, tattered dressing gown. His servant is being rude to him. His apartment is a mess. He is not the noble philosopher he pretended to be in the brothel. He is a poor, erratic, hysterical loser. He realizes instantly that he cannot save her because he cannot even save himself. He panics. He snaps at her. He screams, "Why did you come here?" He tells her the truth in a fit of spite. "I was laughing at you then. I wanted to insult you." This is the inevitable crash of the savior complex. You love the idea of fixing her, but you resent the reality of her needs. When a woman actually relies on you, when she calls you at 3 a.m., or when she needs financial help, or when she needs you to make a hard decision, you crumble because you aren't a rock. You're a leaf pretending to be a rock. And women can sense this fragility. They can sense that your support is conditional. They know that you are only listening to their problems because you want a reward. You want the good boy badge. You want sex as payment for your therapy services. It is a covert contract. I will listen to your trauma, and in exchange, you will pretend I am a big, strong man. When she stops playing along, or worse, when she starts getting better and doesn't need you anymore, you get nasty, you get resentful. You say things like, "After everything I did for you, this is how you treat me." That is not the voice of love. That is the voice of a failed investor angry about his returns. Dostoevsky shows us that true love requires two equals standing on the same level. But the insecure man cannot handle equality. Equality means he can be judged. Equality means he can be rejected. So he seeks the underground. He seeks the dynamic where he is the only one with power. He lectures. He scolds. He gives advice he doesn't follow himself. If you want to stop repelling women, you have to retire the white knight armor. It doesn't fit you. It's clunky and it smells like rust. Stop looking for women you can save. Stop trying to solve her problems 5 minutes after meeting her. Stop using her pain as a ladder to climb out of your own insecurity. A confident man is not afraid of a woman's strength. He doesn't need her to be weak to feel like a man. He wants her to be happy, whole, and capable because he knows that iron sharpens iron. The underground man ends up alone because he couldn't forgive Liza for seeing him as he truly was. He couldn't forgive her for witnessing his poverty. He preferred to retreat back into his dark corner where he could be the king of nothing, rather than face the vulnerability of being a flawed human being in a real relationship. Don't choose the corner. Drop the savior act. You don't need to be her hero. You just need to be her partner. And ironically, that is the only thing that can actually save you. Now let's talk about the text message draft folder in your brain. You see a woman you find attractive. Maybe she's across the bar, maybe she's a co-worker, maybe she's a match on Hinge. What happens next? If you are the man of action, the type Dostoevsky describes as the bull, you simply act. You say, "Hi." If it works, great. If you hit a wall, you bounce off, shrug, and move on. But you are not a bull. You are a refined man. You are a man of acute consciousness. So you freeze. You enter the laboratory. You start running simulations. If I say X, she might think I'm too forward. If I say Y, I'll sound boring. I need to be witty, but not try hard. I need to be aloof, but not cold. You write the text. You delete the text. You wait 45 minutes because some YouTube guru told you that replying too fast lowers your value. You analyze her last emoji usage like you were deciphering the Rosetta Stone. And by the time you finally make your move, the moment is dead. The energy is gone. You deliver your line, but it comes out stiff and robotic. It sounds rehearsed because it was rehearsed. This is the paralysis of hyperconsciousness, and Dostoevsky identifies it as the sickness of the modern intellectual man. In Notes from Underground, the protagonist despises the men of action. He thinks they are stupid because they don't think about consequences. But he admits something painful. The man of action is alive. The underground man is dead. He describes himself as a mouse that has been insulted. But unlike a normal mouse that just squeaks and bites, this conscious mouse accumulates a fatal slime of questions and doubts. He asks, do I have the right to be angry? Is this revenge justified? Will it work? What is the philosophical implication of this conflict? He drowns in his own variables. As a result, he does nothing. He retreats back into his hole to fester in his own malignant, stinking silence. This is the guy who stands on the edge of the dance floor for 3 hours, judging everyone else for having shallow fun, while he is terrified to move his own feet. Why is this repulsive to women? Because attraction feeds on spontaneity. Spontaneity signals authenticity. When a man acts in the moment, he is showing you who he really is. He's exposing himself to risk. That is sexy. It shows he trusts his instincts. When you calculate every move, you are signaling that you are terrified of making a mistake. You are walking on a tightrope of your own making. A woman can feel this lag in your operating system. She asks you a question, and she sees your eyes darting around, searching for the correct answer instead of the real answer. She makes a joke, and you laugh a second too late because you had to process if it was funny. You try to initiate intimacy, but it feels like you are following a flowchart. Step A, touch knee. Step B, wait for signal. It feels clinical. It feels like she is interacting with a customer service AI bot, not a human being with blood in his veins. The underground man believes his overthinking is a sign of his complexity. He thinks, I am seeing angles these simpletons cannot see. But in the dating world, this isn't complexity, it's cowardice. You are trying to solve the woman. You are treating the interaction like a chess game where, if you just make the perfect sequence of moves, you will get the checkmate. sex, love. But human beings aren't chess pieces. They are emotional, chaotic, irrational creatures. When you try to script the interaction, you kill the vibe. You are essentially telling her, I am not willing to be present with you. I am only willing to present a curated, edited, safe version of myself. This is why the bad boy often wins. It's not because he's bad, it's because he is unfiltered. Dostoevsky's bull runs at the wall. Maybe he breaks the wall, maybe he breaks his head, but he is moving. There is kinetic energy. You, the conscious mouse, are static. You are safe, yes. You didn't say the wrong thing, but you didn't say the right thing either. You became a non-entity. Here is the brutal truth Dostoevsky lays out. Intelligence without courage is sterile. Your ability to analyze the situation is actually your enemy. It is the disease he speaks of. You use your intelligence to predict every possible rejection scenario. You talk yourself out of success before you even put on your shoes. She's probably tired. She probably has a boyfriend. She's out of my league. You call this being realistic. Dostoevsky calls it inertia. It is the force that keeps you glued to your chair, rotting in your own potential. And the worst part, when you finally do act, it often comes out weird. Because you've been bottling up all this energy, all these calculations. When you finally speak, it bursts out. You dump too much emotion at once, like we discussed in the last section. Or you say something passive-aggressive because you're exhausted from all the thinking. So, what is the antidote? How do you stop being the mouse? You have to accept the dignity of the mistake. The underground man is terrified of looking ridiculous. That is his greatest fear. He would rather do nothing than risk being laughed at. But confidence is the willingness to be ridiculous. It is the willingness to say a bad joke, to trip over your words, to get rejected, and to survive it. You have to stop trying to be clever and start being real. If you like her, say you like her. Don't strategize for 3 weeks on how to sub-communicate your interest. If you don't know what to say, I don't know what to say, you're making me nervous. That radical honesty, that refusal to calculate, shatters the slime of the underground. It proves you are not afraid of reality. But for many of you, the calculation isn't just about fear. It's about something darker. It's about control. And when you lose that control, when you get rejected, the mouse doesn't just get sad, the mouse gets spiteful. This brings us to the ugliest phase of insecurity, the pivot to malice. This is the part of the video where things get ugly. We have talked about the sadness of the insecure man. We have talked about his anxiety, his overthinking, his desperate need to be a hero. You might be feeling sorry for him. You might be feeling sorry for yourself. You might be thinking, well, at least he has a good heart. At least he means well. Dostoevsky is about to grab you by the collar and shake that thought right out of your head. Because here is the terrifying truth about the nice guy, the sensitive soul, and the underground man. He's only one rejection away from being a monster. There is a phenomenon in modern dating that women know all too well. It's the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde switch. A guy matches with a girl. He is polite, he is complimentary. He says, "You have such a beautiful smile. I'd love to take you out." She politely declines. Maybe she says, "I'm not looking for anything right now." Or maybe she just doesn't reply. And in the span of 30 seconds, the gentleman vanishes. He sends a text back, "Whatever, you're ugly anyway. You're a stuck-up beat-teach. I was just being nice to you, you fat cow." We laugh at screenshots of this online. We call them incels. But we need to understand the mechanics of why this happens. This happens because, as we discussed in section 1, the niceness was never real. It was a currency. He paid you a compliment and he expected to buy your validation. When you refused the transaction, he didn't feel sad. He felt robbed. And when the underground man feels robbed, he doesn't just walk away. He seeks revenge. In Notes from Underground, Dostoevsky exposes the sheer malice that hides behind social anxiety. The protagonist isn't just a victim. He is a vengeful, spiteful little tyrant in waiting. Remember the officer, the one who moved the underground man aside without looking at him. The underground man doesn't just feel bad about it. He obsesses over it for years. He doesn't want to make peace with the officer. He wants to break him. He fantasizes about scenarios where he humiliates the man. He stalks him. He buys new clothes just to look worthy of bumping into him. He plots to collide with him on the Nevsky Prospect, shoulder to shoulder, just to prove he exists. He says, "I was a scoundrel." And he admits that his humiliation often turned into a strange, perverse pleasure. This is the pivot to spite. When you are insecure, your ego is as fragile as an eggshell. When a woman cracks it, even accidentally, even gently, the yolk spills out and it stinks. You feel humiliated. And because you lack the internal strength to absorb that blow, the way a confident man would, you have to redirect that pain outward. You have to hurt her to balance the scales. If she makes you feel small, you must make her feel smaller. This is why insecure men are often the most cruel partners in a relationship. When they feel threatened, they don't communicate. They attack. They make jokes about her weight. They belittle her intelligence in front of friends. They bring up her past mistakes to win an argument. They do this to lower her self-esteem. Because if she feels like garbage, she won't leave him. If she feels worthless, his worthlessness doesn't look so bad by comparison. It is a strategy of leveling down. The underground man cannot rise to the level of the Olympians, the successful, happy people, so he tries to drag them down into the mud with him. There is a chilling moment in the book where the underground man sleeps with Liza. Afterwards, he feels awkward. He feels the crushing weight of reality returning. He realizes he cannot be the hero he pretended to be. So, what does he do? He sits in silence. He sulks, and then he starts to verbally tear her apart. He insults her profession. He treats her with cold, clinical detachment. He sees that she is looking at him with love, and he hates her for it. Why? Because her love is a mirror reflecting his fraudulence. He feels unworthy of it, so he has to destroy it. He has to prove that she is the idiot for loving him. He admits, "I had been ashamed all the time, and I wanted to humiliate her." This is the dark warning Dostoevsky is screaming at you across the centuries. If you do not fix your insecurity, you will eventually begin to hate the women you claim to love. You will resent them for their power over you. You will resent them for your own neediness. You will become the guy who checks her phone when she's in the shower. Not because you have proof she's cheating, but because you want to find something. You want the justification for your rage. You want to be the victim so you can unleash the spite. The nice guy thinks he is morally superior to the bad boy because he treats women like queens. But Dostoevsky reveals that the nice guy is often just a bad boy without the courage. He is a tyrant without a kingdom. The moment he gets a little bit of power, the moment she falls for him, or the moment she rejects him, the tyrant comes out. True confidence is benevolent. A man who knows his worth doesn't need to put a woman down to feel tall. If she rejects him, he thinks, "That's a shame. We would have been fun." He wishes her well, he means it. But the spiteful man, he wants her to fail. He stalks her Instagram 3 months later, hoping to see that she's miserable. He derives nutrients from her unhappiness. If you catch yourself doing this, if you catch yourself getting angry when a woman doesn't give you what you want, you need to stop and look in the mirror. That anger is not about her. It is about your own emptiness. You're shaking your fist at the mirror because you don't like the reflection. Don't break the mirror, and for God's sake, don't blame the woman for holding it up. So, we have the nice guy trap, the narcissism, the savior complex, the paralysis, and the spite. You're probably feeling pretty called out right now. You might be thinking, okay, I get it. I'm a mess. The underground man is me. But how do I get out of the basement? It's time to stop diagnosing the illness and start prescribing the cure. And surprisingly, the cure involves doing the one thing the underground man hated most. We need to talk about action. There is a specific type of text message that every woman has received, usually around 11:30 p.m. on a Tuesday, from a guy she has known for exactly 12 days. It is 5 paragraphs long. It uses words like connection, soul, darkness, and fate. It details his childhood trauma, his loneliness, and how she is the light he has been waiting for. You send this text because you think you are being vulnerable. You think you are accelerating the intimacy. You think, if I show her my wounds, she will trust me. If I show her how deep I feel, she will have to love me. But she doesn't read that text and think, wow, what a complex, poetic soul. She reads it and thinks, run. This is what Dostoevsky calls cheap sentimentality. And it is one of the most potent repellents in the insecure man's arsenal. We often confuse being sentimental with being loving. We think that having big, overwhelming emotions is proof of our virtue. But the underground man teaches us that sentimentality is actually a form of emotional incontinence. It is the inability to hold your own water. Throughout Notes from Underground, the protagonist oscillates between being a cruel jerk and a weeping poet. One minute he is insulting Liza, the next he is crying, wringing his hands and giving grand speeches about the beautiful and the sublime. He loves to talk about love with a capital L. He loves to imagine himself as a martyr. He loves the aesthetic of suffering. But notice something crucial. He loves the feeling of having feelings more than he actually cares about the person he is feeling them at. When he is lecturing Liza about her tragic life, he gets swept up in his own eloquence. He starts crying. He feels like a god because He is so moved by his own words, but as soon as the speech is over, as soon as the mood shifts, he is cold again. The emotion was just a performance. It was a drug trip for his ego. In modern dating, this manifests as trauma dumping. Insecure men often use their emotions as a hostage negotiation tactic. You sit down on a first or second date, and instead of having a fun, light-hearted conversation to build attraction, you decide to unload the dump truck. You talk about your depression. You talk about how your ex ruined you. You talk about how hard it is to be a good guy in this cruel world. Why do you do this? Forced intimacy. You are trying to skip the line. Building real trust takes months. You want it in an hour. You think, if I tell her my darkest secret, we are bonded. Pity as a strategy. Deep down, you don't think you are good enough to be loved for your strength, so you try to be loved for your weakness. You want her to look at you with those big, sad, nursing eyes and say, "Oh, you poor thing, let me take care of you." You are not looking for a girlfriend. You are looking for a wet nurse. And here is why this is repulsive. It is unearned. Intimacy is like weightlifting. You don't walk into the gym and try to bench press 300 pounds on your first day. You build up to it. When you dump your heaviest emotional baggage on a woman you barely know, you are asking her to spot a 300-pound weight before she has even seen you lift the bar. It signals a terrifying lack of boundaries. If you are telling her, a stranger, all your deepest secrets, it means you probably tell everyone. It means you have no filter. It means you have no internal container for your own life. A woman wants a man who is a container, a man who can feel things deeply, yes, but who can also contain those feelings, process them, and express them at the appropriate time. When you are leaking emotions all over the place, you are signaling that you are not safe. You are volatile. If you are this high on love after 1 week, you will be this low on suicidal despair if she cancels dinner. Dostoevsky ruthlessly mocks this type of bookish romantic. The underground man lives in his head, reading romantic novels and poetry. He imagines that life should be like a book, full of grand speeches and tearful reunions. But because he's so obsessed with the fantasy of emotion, he is incapable of real human connection. Real connection is often boring, it's quiet, it's stable, it's, can you pass the salt? The sentimentalist hates boring. He needs the drama, he needs the high. This is why the nice guy often falls in love with the idea of a woman rather than the woman herself. You project all your angelic fantasies onto her. You write her poems, you tell her she is a goddess, but you don't actually know her. You don't know if she chews with her mouth open. You don't know her politics. You don't know her flaws. And the moment she shows you a flaw, the moment she acts like a normal human being instead of a Dostoevsky heroine, you feel betrayed. You switch instantly from "I love you" to "you used me." That isn't love. That is narcissism wearing a fake mustache. The underground man's tragedy is that he cannot simply be with Liza. He has to turn their interaction into a scene from a play. He has to be the tragic hero saving the fallen woman. He cannot just sit there, drink tea, and ask, "So where are you from?" If you want to stop repelling women, you have to stop being the cheap sentimentalist. Sentiment is cheap. It costs nothing to say, "I would die for you." Action is expensive. It costs a lot to actually show up, be consistent, pay the bills, and be emotionally stable when things get hard. Women know the exchange rate. They know that a man who is overflowing with words is usually bankrupt on actions. When you feel the urge to send that long emotional text, when you feel the urge to cry about your loneliness on the first date, stop. Ask yourself, am I sharing this because I trust her and we have built a foundation? Or am I sharing this because I am anxious and I want to guilt trip her into liking me? If it's the latter, put the phone down, go to the gym, write it in a journal. Do not make her the bucket for your overflow. Vulnerability is a superpower, but only when it is displayed by a man who is also capable of strength. Vulnerability without strength isn't vulnerability. It's just helplessness, and helplessness is not sexy. But what happens when this helplessness turns into comparison? What happens when you stop looking at her and start looking at the other men in the room? This brings us to the ghost that haunts every insecure man's bedroom, the rival. If I looked at your search history or the forums you read, or the thoughts that loop in your head at 2 a.m., how much of it is about women? And how much of it is about other men? Insecure men think they are obsessed with love, but actually they are obsessed with hierarchy. You look at the guy she used to date. You look at the guy she's talking to at the bar. You look at the influencer with the six-pack and the Ferrari. And you don't just feel jealousy. You feel a weird, magnetic mix of hatred and worship. You tell yourself, she wants him because he's rich. She wants him because he's tall. She wants him because he's a mindless jerk, and I'm a sophisticated nice guy. But Dostoevsky catches you in 4K resolution. He shows us that this obsession with the rival is actually a confession. By obsessing over these men, you're admitting that you agree with her. You are voting against yourself. In Notes from Underground, the protagonist claims to despise Zverkov, the popular, successful officer. He calls him stupid, vulgar, and shallow. But notice his actions. He doesn't ignore Zverkov. He talks about him constantly. He tries to get invited to his dinner. He wants Zverkov to notice him. He wants Zverkov to approve of him. At one point, he even borrows money to pay for the dinner from the very people he hates. He literally goes into debt just to sit at the table with the Chads so he can sulk in their presence. This is the paradox of the rival. The insecure man hates the confident man, but he also puts the confident man on a pedestal higher than God. Dostoevsky took this even further in a lesser-known masterpiece called The Eternal Husband. The main character, Trusotsky, is a man whose wife had an affair. The wife dies. Trusotsky finds the lover, Velchaninov. Now, you would expect Trusotsky to kill him or beat him up, or at least hate him, but he doesn't. He becomes obsessed with him. He follows him around. He wants to be his friend. He respects the lover more than he respects himself. Why? Because the lover succeeded where he failed. In Trusotsky's twisted mind, the lover possesses the magic ingredient that he lacks, so he stays close to him, hoping to absorb some of that power by osmosis. How does this look in your life? It looks like the red pill obsession with alphas and sigmas. It looks like the guy who constantly asks his girlfriend about her ex, digging for details that will hurt him. Was he bigger than me? Did he make you laugh more? Why did you like him? You are digging for evidence of your own inferiority. You are putting the ghost of her ex-boyfriend in the bed with you. And here is why this repels women instantly. It signals that you are a fan, not a player. When you are constantly comparing yourself to other men, even if you are insulting them, you are framing them as the main characters. If you say, "Oh, you just like him because he drives a BMW," you are essentially telling her, "That man has status. I do not. I am aware of the gap between us, and it terrifies me." A confident man rarely thinks about other men in the context of dating. If he sees a guy with a BMW, he thinks, "Nice car." If he sees a tall, handsome guy talking to the girl he likes, he thinks, "Competition. Okay, let's see who she vibes with." He does not create a sociological thesis about how society is unfair and women only want 6-foot-tall chads. He doesn't have time for that. He's too busy living his own life. But the Dostoevsky man, he needs the rival, he needs the Chad to exist. Because if the Chad exists, then the insecure man has an excuse. I'm not single because I'm boring and neurotic. I'm single because of him, because of the system, because of biology. The rival becomes your security blanket. He protects you from having to look in the mirror and realize that you are the problem, and women can smell this fear. There is nothing less sexy than a man who is intimidated by other men. Evolutionarily, she is looking for a man who can hold his own. If you crumble just because another guy walks into the room, how are you going to protect her? How are you going to handle real-life adversity? The underground man ends up totally alone because he is fighting ghosts. He is fighting Zverkov, he is fighting the officer, he is fighting society. He's never just talking to the girl. There is always a third person in the conversation. His insecurity. The fix. Stop looking at the other guy's paper. Stop following accounts that make you feel bad about yourself. Stop asking about her exes. When you are with a woman, occupy your own space. If another man is successful, good for him. It has nothing to do with you. If another man is handsome, good for him. It has nothing to do with you. Your value is not determined by a comparative graph. It is determined by the direct experience you offer to the person in front of you. But the underground man can't see that. He's too busy looking at the idea of love rather than the reality. And that leads us to the final trap before we hit the solution. Loving humanity, but hating people. Let's talk about the girl in your head. You know her. She is perfect. She is beautiful, of course, but in a very specific, soulful way. She understands you completely without you having to explain yourself. She listens to your rants about society and nods with deep admiration. She laughs at all your jokes. She has no baggage. She has no annoying habits. She is never tired, never grumpy, and never irrational. She is not a human being. She is an idea, and this idea is the reason you are single. Dostoevsky identified a very specific disease in the intelligentsia of his time, which he called bookishness. The underground man is the ultimate patient. He has spent his entire life reading European romantic literature, poetry, and philosophy. He has lived in the world of books so long that he has forgotten what the world of flesh and blood looks like. He has constructed a script for how life should go. The script, the hero, him, suffers nobly. A beautiful woman sees his suffering, falls in love with his tortured soul, and redeems him. They have a tearful, poetic moment, and then, well, the book usually ends there, so he hasn't thought about the part where they have to pay rent or do the dishes. The problem arises when he meets an actual woman. In The Brothers Karamazov, Dostoevsky tells a story through the character of Father Zosima about a doctor. This doctor makes a confession. "I love humanity," he says, "but I wonder at myself. The more I love humanity in general, the less I love man in particular." He explains that he dreams of saving the world, of sacrificing his life for the human race, but if he has to spend 2 days in a room with a real person, he wants to strangle them. Why? Because real people cough, real people eat loudly, real people have bad breath, real people contradict you, real people are inconvenient. This is the bookish trap. When you are an insecure man, you do not look for a partner, you look for an actress to play the role of the perfect girlfriend in the movie of your life. You project a fantasy onto a woman the moment you meet her. You don't see her. You see a silhouette that you fill with your own desires. You see a quiet girl, and you invent a story that she is deep and mysterious, when maybe she's just shy. You see a girl with a chaotic life, and you invent a story that she is a damsel in distress, waiting for your guidance. This feels like romance. You get high on it. You tell your friends, "I think she's the one." You haven't even had a real conversation with her yet, but you are already mentally picking out furniture. But then, reality sets in. The bookish bubble bursts. Maybe she makes a joke you don't like. Maybe she reveals a political opinion that clashes with yours. Maybe she mentions she likes watching trashy reality TV. Maybe she gets the flu and looks terrible. For a confident man, these are just details. They are the texture of a real person. But for the bookish man, this is a betrayal. The underground man experiences this violently with Liza. In the brothel, he creates a fantasy. He casts her as the fallen woman and himself as the redeemer. It is a beautiful, literary scene. He gives a great speech. He feels like a hero. But when she comes to his apartment, she breaks the script. She doesn't act like a character in a poem. She acts like a confused, desperate, normal girl. She stares at him. She sees his dirty room. She doesn't recite poetry back to him. And the underground man hates her for it. He thinks, "Why aren't you following the script? You are ruining the aesthetic. You are making this awkward." This is the origin of what modern dating calls the ick. Insecure men get the ick faster than anyone else. Why? Because their fantasy is so fragile that the slightest intrusion of reality shatters it. If she chews too loudly, the fantasy dies. If she has a past that involves other men, the fantasy dies. You might think you are just having high standards, but Dostoevsky tells you the truth. You are a coward. You love humanity, the idea of a girlfriend, but you hate people, the actual work of dealing with a separate consciousness. And here is the kicker. Women know when you are doing this. There is nothing more repulsive to a woman than realizing she is being auditioned for a fantasy role. When you put a woman on a pedestal, you are not complimenting her. You are dehumanizing her. You are trapping her. You are essentially saying, "I love you as long as you never change, never show weakness, never have a bad day, and never disagree with my image of you. The moment you act like a human, I will resent you." This is why nice guys turn so quickly into resentful jerks. The moment the woman steps off the pedestal, the man feels scammed. He feels like he bought a product that didn't match the advertisement. He starts to punish her for being real. "I thought you were different. You used to be so sweet. Why are you being like this?" He is angry that she has an inner life that is not centered around him. The underground man admits this in a moment of terrifying clarity. He says, "To love is to tyrannize and to show my moral superiority." For him, love is not a collaboration. It is a conquest. He wants to own her soul so he can reshape it into something that pleases him. When he realizes he can't own her, that she is a free agent with her own thoughts, he discards her. If you want to stop repelling women, you have to burn the script. You have to stop loving the idea and start loving the person. What does that mean? It means accepting that the woman you date will be annoying sometimes. She will be irrational. She will have a history that has nothing to do with you. She will not always understand your deep thoughts. She will get sick. She will age. And you have to love that. Not despite that, but including that. A confident man meets a woman and thinks, I want to discover who she is. An insecure man meets a woman and thinks, I hope she is who I need her to be. Do you feel the difference? One is curiosity, the other is a demand. The bookish love is safe, it's perfect. It exists in the pages of novels and in the silence of your bedroom, but it is dead, it is cold. Real love is messy, it is inconvenient. It requires you to compromise and to deal with someone else's messy emotions. The underground man chooses the safety of his bookish fantasy. He drives Liza away so he can go back to his room and imagine loving her. He prefers the memory of her, which he can control, to the reality of her, which he cannot. He writes, I inevitably dreamed of the beautiful and the sublime. But while he is dreaming of the sublime, he is rotting in solitude. Don't be the doctor who loves humanity but wants to strangle his neighbor. Don't be the underground man who loves the fallen woman but hates the girl sitting on his couch. Drop the fantasy. Look at the person in front of you. She is flawed, she is messy, she is real, and that is the only thing that makes her worth loving. But how do we actually do this? How do we move from this paralyzed, overthinking, fantasy-obsessed state into something real? We have to finally address the solution. We have to talk about the one thing the underground man feared more than anything else: action. We have dissected your behavior, your psychology, and your fantasies. But there is one final defense mechanism we need to smash before you can actually change. It is the most dangerous one of all because it sounds so logical. It is the belief that it doesn't matter what I do because the game is rigged. In Notes from Underground, the protagonist talks obsessively about what he calls the stone wall. The stone wall represents the laws of nature. It represents mathematical certainty. It represents 2x2 = 4. He says that when a normal man, a man of action, hits a stone wall, he stops. He accepts it. He says, well, I can't walk through a wall, and he goes home. But the underground man, he hits the wall and he feels humiliated by it. He hates the wall. But, and this is the key, he also uses the wall as an excuse to do nothing. In modern dating terms, the stone wall is the data. It's the statistics you read online. 80% of women only swipe right on the top 20% of men. If you are under 6 feet tall, you are invisible. Hypergamy is a biological law. Society is broken. You look at these facts and you treat them like Dostoevsky's stone wall. You say, see, it's math, it's biology, it's nature. There is no point in me trying to be charming or confident or improving myself because the laws of nature say I am doomed. And here is the dark, twisted secret that Dostoevsky whispers in your ear. You love the wall. You love the idea that women are shallow biological robots. You love the idea that the dating market is impossible. Why? Because if it's impossible, you don't have to try. If the game is rigged, you are not a loser, you are a victim. And being a victim is comfortable. It absolves you of all responsibility. If you get rejected and you say, I got rejected because I was awkward and I didn't listen to her, that hurts. That means you made a mistake. That means you have to work on your social skills. That is painful. But if you get rejected and you say, I got rejected because women only want chads and I have weak genetics, that is painless. It's not your fault. It's the universe's fault. You can go back to your room, play video games, and feel morally superior to the shallow world. The underground man does this constantly. He blames his environment, his poverty, his office job, the weather, anything to avoid admitting that his misery is a choice. He bangs his head against the wall not to break it, but to prove that he is being oppressed by it. This attitude is what we now call the black pill. And let me tell you, nothing, absolutely nothing, repels a woman faster than a man who reeks of this defeatism. Women are not stupid. They can sense when a man has given up. When you walk into a date with the mindset of, she's probably just going to use me for a free meal because that's what women do, it leaks out of your pores. You don't make eye contact. You make bitter, cynical jokes about relationships. You act defensive before she has even attacked you. You are creating a self-fulfilling prophecy. You treat her like an enemy combatant instead of a potential partner. And then when she doesn't like you, you say, see, the stone wall is real. Dostoevsky argues that this reliance on 2x2 4 is a form of death. He shouts, I do not accept that 2 is the summit of life. He argues that human beings are not piano keys. We are not just inputs and outputs. We are irrational. We are chaotic. We are free. Yes, looks matter. Yes, money matters. Yes, status matters. Those are the walls. But men climb over walls every single day. Short men get married. Poor men fall in love. Ugly men fascinate women with their charisma and their humor. These men refuse to bow down to the laws of nature. They accept the difficulty, and they play the game anyway. But the insecure man looks at the difficulty and uses it as a permission slip to rot. He uses reality as a shield to hide from life. If you are constantly consuming content that tells you how hopeless it is, stop. You are feeding the underground man. You are cementing the bricks of the wall. You are telling yourself that you are powerless so that you don't have to face the terrifying prospect of being powerful. Because if you realized you could succeed, you would have no excuse for your current situation. And that is a guilt you don't want to feel. So, shatter the wall. Admit that 2x2 might equal 5 if you have enough charm. Admit that you are not a victim of biology, you are a victim of your own cowardice. And that leads us finally to the exit. How do we leave the underground? So, here we are. You've seen the diagnosis. You are the nice guy, the narcissist, the savior, the coward, and the cynic. You are the underground man. The question is, how do you stop? How do you become the man who attracts women instead of repelling them? Dostoevsky doesn't give us a 10-step guide to Riz. He gives us something much harder and much more effective. He gives us a spiritual pivot. He distinguishes between two types of love: love in dreams and active love. Love in dreams is what you have been doing. It is the fantasy. It is the thirst for immediate gratification. It is the desire to be a hero, to be sacrificed, to have the movie moment. Dostoevsky writes, "Love in dreams thirsts for immediate action, quickly performed and with everyone watching. But active love is labor and fortitude. Active love is the cure for insecurity." 1. Move from consciousness to labor. The underground man is sick because he thinks too much and does too little. The cure for overthinking is not positive thinking, it is action. Insecurity lives in the gap between your desire and your movement. The longer you wait to act, the louder the insecurity gets. Don't plan the perfect text. Send the text. Don't fantasize about the date. Go on the date. Don't analyze her body language. React to it. When you act, you silence the inner monologue. You become real. Women are attracted to kinetic energy. They want a man who is moving through the world, not sitting in a chair contemplating it. 2. Accept the dignity of suffering. This is the most Dostoevskian point of all. You are insecure because you are trying to avoid pain. You are trying to avoid the pain of rejection, the pain of awkwardness, the pain of looking stupid. Dostoevsky tells you, pain is the price of consciousness. You cannot be alive without suffering. So stop trying to protect your ego. Let it get bruised. Go talk to the girl and let her reject you. Feel the sting. Survive it. Realize you didn't die. There is a profound confidence that comes from knowing you can handle the worst-case scenario. When you stop fearing the ouch, you become unstoppable. The underground man runs from pain into his hole. The real man walks through the pain and finds life on the other side. 3. Kill the hero and birth the brother. In The Brothers Karamazov, the saintly character Alyosha is loved by everyone. Why? Is he rich? Is he an alpha? No. He is loved because he listens. He doesn't try to save people to make himself feel good. He doesn't judge people to make himself feel superior. He simply is present with them. He treats them as equals. Stop trying to impress women. Stop trying to fix them. Just listen to them. Be curious about them. Treat a woman like another human being who's just as confused and complex as you are. Not a goddess, not a target, a human. When you drop the hierarchy, when you stop looking up at her in worship or down at her in spite, you create space for connection. 4. The final challenge. Come out into the light. The underground man ends his book still in the underground. He writes his confession, but he doesn't change. He is a warning, not a role model. He stays in the dark because the light is terrifying. In the light, you can be seen. In the light, you are just a guy. Not a genius, not a victim, just a guy. And that is enough. You have to accept that you are an ordinary, flawed man. You have to laugh at your own vanity. You have to apologize for your spite. You have to take the risk of being boring, of being clumsy, of being real. Because here is the truth that the underground man missed. Women do not want a perfect man from a book. They do not want a hero who is actually a narcissist in disguise. They want a man who is comfortable in his own skin. A man who can say, "I like you," without needing a guarantee back. A man who can say, "I messed up," without falling apart. A man who loves her more than he loves his own anxiety. That is the difference. The insecure man loves his anxiety more than the woman. The confident man loves the woman more than his anxiety. So, put down the script. Unlock the door. Step out of the basement. The snow is falling. The world is cold, but it's real. And real life is the only place where real love can happen.